Hi everyone, welcome to episode 6 of Create This Book Too. As usual, in this episode, I will be finishing 3 more prompts in the sequence we have been following. So let's get our materials ready and jump right in. The 3 prompts I'll be handling in this video are create shine, create a self-portrait, and create an invention. The first prompt instructs you to figure out a way to make this page shine. And I was completely clueless. The only thing I wanted in that moment to figure out a way to make this page shine was to have some idea, and I kept on thinking, idea, idea. And then this image of a glowing bulb popped in my head. And the image of a glowing bulb is usually associated with having an idea or figuring something out. I thought I would just use that as my inspiration. So I quickly sketched out a bulb against a dark wall, and I thought I could play with some darker and lighter values. So the contrast between the values would create this shine or glow like effect where the wall will be dark and where the bulb glows, everything would be light. On the surface, this idea felt a bit simple to me, but once I started putting the colors down, I really understood how difficult it is to bring out different values from the same color. And then there was this thing to create a contrast so both of the colors would go together well and also produce the desired effect that I was going for. And after deconstructing the whole process that I would be following, I started executing it very nervously. So I laid down a light wash of Prussian blue for the wall and then used a slightly darker shade of the same color for the bricks. After painting the bricks, now it was time to add some dimension to it, almost making it look like 3D, like they were actual bricks on the wall. Oh, that reminds me of the Pink Floyd song. I was actually thinking about that the whole time I was painting this brick wall. Any Pink Floyd fans out there? You can put your attendance in the comments. I would love to get to know you. So, coming back, I started shading the corners of the bricks to make them look a bit 3D. And although the whole process was kind of repetitive, now that I'm watching it while doing the voiceover, it feels quite satisfying. After the bricks, I started working on the bulb. And since the bulb would be illuminated, the area around the bulb would also have a very light shading, or light reflection, or glow, or whatever. So I did what I could with colored pencils, and then I thought I should push the blue values more with some chalk pastels. But that did not feel like a good idea to me after I did a couple of bricks, and then I had to erase everything off and then redo those areas. At that point, I couldn't think of any other supplies that would help me push the darker values a little bit more the way I wanted. So I left it at that and thought I'd figure it out later on, and then started working on the other areas, which was the light area now, and added lots and lots of yellow to show the light spilling across the wall. And to cover the brightest areas, I used some white paint pen to add those highlights. After adding all the fine details, this page was finally ready to be put in the book, and this is how it turned out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And now let's move on to the next prompt, which is to create a self-portrait. And for this, I did not want to draw myself at all. And I think the instructions give you a lot of freedom because it does not tell you to draw yourself, it just tells you to list down the things that make you, you. So all that I could think of was myself as a Powerpuff Girl. When I was a kid, I used to love this cartoon so much. I would come back from school and turn on the TV, and it was always some repeat episode of Powerpuff Girls, and I would watch every episode no matter how many times I would have already watched it. I would still watch it because I loved it so much. So many memories came back to me when I was doing this prompt, and it was so much fun. I really loved Buttercup out of the three, although it's very hard to pick just one favorite because all of them were just such a good team. I loved all of them, but Buttercup was my favorite. I mean, it's hard to pick, but I have to. So, I used to think I was tough like Buttercup and just imagine myself being in her shoes, how she would fight off the bad guys and um, be like a tomboy. So, to me, she was the coolest. And I decided to base my version of Powerpuff Girl on Buttercup. So, this is how it should look, very much similar to her. But instead of being prepared in a lab, she would be prepared in a kitchen with all the ingredients that make me me, which are essentially the same ingredients as Powerpuff Girls are made of. You know, the regular sugar and spice and everything nice. Well, not everything is nice about me, precisely why I put salt instead of sugar. I can be a bit salty at times, and also I think it's better to avoid sugar. But anyway, I just wanted to be a little cheeky here and do this little comic book like page because I love cartoons, which must be evident by now. So I did this very bright background and drew inspiration from the whole show. As you can see the resemblance in the visuals where Professor Utonium prepares Powerpuff Girls in his lab, while this version of the Powerpuff Girl is being prepared in a kitchen by a chef. Before doing the traditional version of this concept, I created this digitally, which I had already uploaded as shorts on my channel. I'll put the links in the description or on the I button so you can see. And I fused both these images together to be part of this prompt. And instead of chemical X, the chemical here that gets accidentally spilled is chemical C, which is chemical creativity. So I think that's an important ingredient that defines me and my spirit, so I thought that would be a good addition. And don't even ask me what I was trying to do with that. No, seriously, I'm not going to answer. I was just trying to make a bunny, but it turned out to be something so weird. I guess that's another ingredient. Weirdness. And finally, to make it a truly power packed page, I added this text: Power is you. Well, if you can't tell, I'm a megalomaniac. I'm obsessed with power. And if I had all the power in the world, I would fill the whole world with art, creativity, happiness, and peace. So that's the kind of power I want. I really wanted to bring out a very chaotic energy in this page, and I think it looks like that. But I just wished I could play a little more with contrast because some areas just blend too much with the colors I used. So that's another learning lesson in my art class, or rather practice. But this is how it finally turned out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really like this page, and now let's move on to the last prompt of this video, which is to create an invention. Now, for this prompt, I didn't have to go that far because to create something like this, all you need to do is just look around or just exist in the modern world, because all we are surrounded by is just chaos, hatred, intolerance, and just everything that's wrong and bad and not at all serving humanity, let's be honest. So, an invention that I think we are all in dire need of is a peacemaker. Yep, not a pacemaker. We are already running too fast and chasing after the things that are taking away bits of our lives from us. Well, I know that's not what a pacemaker is supposed to do, but I just wanted to do a bit of wordplay, and I hope you get the point. Now, the bigger question remains, what is this invention supposed to do? If it's not already clear from the name, it is supposed to make peace or bring peace in all forms. Originally, this invention was developed in two forms. The first one being a direct implant that goes straight to the heart. It is for severe far-gone cases where people have forgotten that they are human beings and they need to treat others as human beings as well. The constant exposure to things like greed and violence have stripped them of their faculty to understand what peace is, so they're unable to imagine a scenario where this can be the reality. The second form of this invention is for less severe cases where people just need a little bit of push or motivation to bring about peace in their own lives as well as in the lives of the people around them. These wearable patches emit energetic waves that bring people on the same frequency, and they're able to understand each other and themselves a little bit better. Aside from the concept and ideation of this invention, I really enjoyed this calligraphy style peacemaker lettering. I wanted the letters to resemble the ECG waves to go along with the whole idea of this page. And after that, I just added a bit more details with crayons, and this is how this page turned out. Let me know your thoughts on this page. And with that, we come to the final looks of all the 3 pages we created in this video. For previous episodes of Create This Book Too, you can check out the playlist in the description. Don't forget to comment, like, and share my video if you find it interesting. I really enjoyed making this video, and I will be coming up with another video very soon, hopefully very soon. If you're still here, thank you so much for staying. It really means a lot when I see people watching and liking my videos, and it takes a lot of effort to make them. I hope to see you soon. Until then, please take care and stay creative.